So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ask YP Live Now show. So this is a show about living with passion, chasing your dreams, making the world a better place. And it's important thing, making the world a better place, right? So we have with us tonight Daniel, okay, who focuses on multiple things. And one of the key things he focuses on is customer-driven leadership. And then he also has got interest into making the world a better place. So, Daniel, can you just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about, what you do, who you are, and what's your passion about.
Yeah, thanks so much, YP. So excited to be here. So I started off in the military. I was an Army veteran and have some experience in that. I was a paratrooper. I used to jump out of airplanes and military intelligence. I had a couple of military intelligence disciplines, and I was also a military instructor.
Okay. Wow.
I got into physical security and cybersecurity, so I did both of those things as well. Still do. One of my businesses is focused on helping people understand cyber threat through cyber exercises, and I'm a global leader in that space. It's kind of like fire drills for networks, practicing what it would be like to be hacked before you're trying to fight off a hacker. I've got an amazing wife and two grown kids, Alex and Maria Gabriella. My wife is Carolina. Love to do volunteer work. I love to help organizations build out new capabilities. So I work a little bit in that space as well, coaching people. When I hear people who have ideas, I like to help them build those ideas out of their head and into reality.
Oh, okay. So which part of the world are you in right now?
Yeah, I like my wife and daughter were born in Honduras, and I lived there for 5.5 years. So I have a real passion for Central America. And my wife and I recently built a nursing school and clinic. It took us 6 years. We got an amazing team around us, and we managed to raise $235,000 and built a modern facility. A lot of it's just been a great. It's changing. The nurses that graduate from that program are completely changing the area around where they live, and we're looking to replicate that in other countries as well. We're creating a new initiative in Central America, in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras, called Love Light campaign for Central America, and we're focused on dealing with root causes of irregular migration, the things that are causing people to leave their countries and come to North America. So that's one of our focuses right now.
Okay. So why are you so passionate about this area about helping people in Central America? What's your motivation? Okay, or what got you started, and what's your motivation?
Sure. I always like to help people. I like to look at and solve problems. Solving problems is really kind of a gift that I have. I'm able to see things from different perspectives and understand if we do this, it's likely to impact things. Kind of see the downstream effects of decisions. So one of the things that we've been working on is we went in and we asked these bishops, what's your biggest problem? And so really how we came to find what our next thing is, how we were going to help next, was we asked. We said, how can we serve you? And so they all agreed. We were working with the bishops, Episcopal bishops of Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala, and they said our biggest problem is people leaving. It leaves the family broken. They get into a lot of debt, paying human traffickers to get them to the U.S. And so it's causing also a brain drain in the countries. A lot of their most industrious people are leaving, and so that's leaving those countries even worse off than they were before.
And so right now you're back in the States?
Yes, I live in Houston, Texas.
Okay. And since coming back, you're involved in this customer-driven leadership program, isn't it? Were you doing it before you moved back, or only recently?
Yeah. it's very interesting, and if I can tell a short story, I'll.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, in this Nightingale nursing school project, we found some amazing partners, and one of our partners is a an organizational psychologist named Dr. Ted Anders, and
Okay.
he had a nonprofit that was his parents, and so that's how we did our work. We worked under his nonprofit, and
Mm-hmm.
for 6 years we raised money. We built a nursing school together, but I'd never really seen Ted work in his area of genius.
Okay.
And so when we worked with the bishops at the dedication of our nursing school, I got to see Ted do what Ted does, and he does it
Uh-huh.
amazingly well. He's trained NASA astronaut teams around the
Okay.
space shuttle program, and he's also worked with the Dalai Lama. And so he is,
Okay.
yeah, he's a very impressive guy. And, you know, yeah, I'm always getting new surprises. Like, when Desmond Tutu passed, he's like, oh man, so sad to lose a good friend, and he
Mm.
sent a picture of him and Desmond Tutu, and I'm like,
Oh,
what has
okay.
this guy not done? But
Mm.
in working in his area of genius, he kind of got to see me working in my area of genius. So he was using some proprietary tools from his days as a consultant, and I was able to see what came next and how all the pieces fit together,
Mm.
without being briefed. And so as he was doing his training, I was just optimizing it around him. And so
Okay.
at the end, we looked at each other and we were like, I did not know you could do that. I'm going to know more
Ah.
about what you can do. And so I said, I'd like to see you do what you do in a corporate environment, because I know he worked with some major corporations.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, come out and look at my programs. And he walked me through all of his programs, and he's got a wide range. He does spiritual kind of uplift programs, and leadership training, team building. And I saw customer driven leadership. In fact, he showed me, this is the first edition of his book, Customer Driven
Okay.
Leadership. And when I saw it, my mind has the ability to see where things are weak and where they break. And when
Okay.
he explained customer driven leadership to me, I could see that it's self healing and self correcting. So as
Okay.
so it really is a work of genius. The way it corrects things and helps you stay ahead of the market, to empower your people, so you have more time as a leader to focus on how are you growing your business, and in what direction, and then the people are empowered to do their own stuff. And it's just an amazing, the way all the pieces fit together is just
Mm.
genius. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. And so he said, okay, be my co-author on the legacy edition of Customer Driven Leadership. And so I wrote that book using the foundational work that Ted has created, and some of his team. And we also created a self-implementation guide called Customer Driven Leadership Implementation Guidebook. And so those
Mm-hmm.
will be out in July. And right now we're building the program and building the team, so that when that goes live, we'll be able to meet people where they are. I think some people will be able to self-implement. If you have a small organization, I
Mm-hmm.
think we'll have probably an online course to help guide people through it, through videos and interactive calls, where they can call and say, "Hey, I'm stuck here. What should I do?"
Okay.
And then the last part would be, certified implementers who can come in and work with your company to solve those problems.
Oh,
Because
okay. Okay.
it's a complicated system, but once you get it in place, it's really self-running, and it will make everything. It drives excellence. It empowers people. The people are excited uh, to come to work at a place running customer-driven leadership.
It sounds like you got a holistic solution, isn't it? You got the theory, you got the workbook, you got the implementation guide, which is the workbook actually, and then you've got your certified people coming in to guide, companies to go through that. if they need a hand, right? So are you able to give us a sneak peek into the book or the program or the workbook, one or two, no better not say one or two, let's say one idea that,
Sure.
that people can implement and get, fast results?
Yeah. 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 So let me just back up for one minute and just kind of say, so the key about customer driven leadership is it only works in high functioning organizations, right? So it's kind of like, once you've invested in your people and you've got your people kind of with that growth mindset, which I know you are an expert in, right? And then you get their teams working in a high functioning team, right? Where everybody knows their role and they're working seamlessly to solve all the problems. That's the type of organization that's ready for customer driven leadership. So I would say the first thing you should do is if you're not investing in the growth of your people and if you're not building teams and empowering teams, those are kind of the first steps. But once you get that, customer driven leadership is sort of an organizational model for how all the teams work together. So if one team serves another team, right? So you've got your customer at the end, and then this is the customer facing team, and then you've got another team that supports that team. That makes what's called the value chain.
Okay.
And so what you do is you measure what matters. What does this team need from this team to serve the customer?
Okay.
And then you assess that every month. And then you also go to the customer and you say, what do you want from us? How can we best serve you? And then you measure that every month. And so an example I like to use is, let's say you have a company that makes widgets, right? Just little things that customers need, right? You might have a customer that needs a lot of widgets. They need a warehouse full of widgets at all times. So for them, they say, hey, I want you to fill my warehouse up to 250 widgets. If I ever drop below 150, send me a shipment to fill me back up to 250 because I never want to drop below 100 widgets, right?
Okay.
And so that's how you're measured. If you're getting their warehouse full when they need it full, they're going to be happy with you. And you go to another customer and they say, I don't want any widgets in stock, right? But when I order a widget, I want you to deliver it within 1 day to the client's address, right?
Okay.
So that's how you measure. That's how that company will evaluate you. Can I get that widget to your client's address in 1 day? And then a third widget client might be, look, I don't want any widgets except I need custom widgets. When I need a widget, I'll send you the design and you build me that widget, and I need it within a week. And so you've got 3 disparate types of clients that you're asking, hey, how am I doing? And as the market shifts, let's say that warehouse guy now all of a sudden wants 300 widgets instead of 200, you can start asking questions. Well, why are you now needing more widgets? Because you're starting to understand how the market is shifting. So it gives you feedback as leadership of an organization about what's starting to change and how your customers' needs are changing. So that's one of the things. So it's kind of know what matters to your customers and measure that and see, and so that's one of the key concepts of customer driven leadership.
That's amazing, Daniel, because for me, I'm very left brain. I like structures and processes. So it shows that we are able to basically give our different clients what they need most. Okay, right? So it's designed for their needs rather than we trying to shove a one model fits all to all the clients, right? Okay, so that's wonderful, and to know what are the processes that we need to have in place to be able to deliver that. And when you say customer driven leadership, I was originally thinking about customers as being external customers, but you make the differentiation there, isn't it? In a company, in an organization, you've got your internal customers, which is one department to another department, and finally, ultimately, the external customer. So it's good. Yeah. I mean, I can see the bits and pieces. I don't see the whole picture yet, but I can see bits and pieces coming together.
Yeah. The other thing that really works interesting is In customer-driven leadership, organizations have a hierarchy, right, with the leader up at the
Okay.
top, but it's all flipped upside down in customer-driven leadership. You are evaluated by the people you serve. So if you're
Okay.
the head of the company, you're evaluated by everyone in the company because you serve everyone.
Wow.
And so it gives you good feedback to know how you can be a better leader, how you can
Mhm.
serve the teams better. And it's all pre-negotiated. Everything is pre-negotiated in customer-driven leadership, um, so that there's no, well, oh, I don't know, YP. I feel like you were an 8 this 8 out of 10 this month. It's not like
Mm,
that, right? It's like
mm,
beforehand, I say, YP, if you do this, you're a 10. And if you do this, you're an 8, and this, you're a 6. And it's all metrics, right? We look
yeah.
and go, oh, look, you did everything you needed to do.
Mm,
You earned the 10. And
mm,
then there's a feedback loop, right? If
mm,
you're making the company more successful and more profitable, then there's more profit to share with the employees. And so we use an incentive structure. And the companies, so customer driven leadership has been around for over 25 years. And some of the stories that I've heard in interviewing Ted's clients are things like, in a 20-year period, with a client who had 300 employees, only 5 employees quit to go work someplace else.
wow.
I
That's
mean, that's
amazing.
what
Okay.
company wouldn't want that kind of retention?
Yeah, yeah. Straight away, I want that. Okay. Yeah. So I should be
Yeah.
knocking on your door soon. Okay. So before we carry on, Daniel, let's take a second to to welcome people in. Some of you who are just joining us, on the various platforms that we are sharing this, this Ask YP Now live show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And those of you who listen to the recording, we have tonight with us, or today with us, Daniel. Okay, and we are focusing on customer-driven leadership. So Daniel been sharing with us, a little bit about what customer-driven leadership is, And the next question I'm going to ask him is, Daniel, okay, why is this concept of customer-driven leadership so important now in the post-pandemic, business world? What are the advantages of using it, and what would happen to companies who totally ignore this concept of customer-driven leadership? Okay, right.
Yeah. So from my perspective there, YP, um, I would say customer driven leadership has been built with really core concepts. And it really helps organizations that are investing in their people, investing in the development of their teams, to then pull it all together so that you've got a high functioning organism. It almost makes the organization like a being able to respond like a living creature, right? I
Mm,
like to think of it as, if my job at the widget factory is to watch the widgets come down the conveyor belt, inspect the widget, put the widget in a bag, and put it back on the conveyor belt, and that's my job, right? They tell me this is what you do. What happens in a normal company when widgets stop coming down the conveyor belt? What's that employee going to do?
stand and twiddle thumbs.
They're just going to stand there, right, twiddling their thumbs, going, "Well, no widgets, no work for me," right? But
Mm,
in customer-driven leadership, since it's measuring what matters, that team will have a responsibility of having a certain amount of widgets done per day, per hour, whatever it is, right? And so all of a sudden, that not my problem becomes my problem because the teams succeed or fail together. The
mm,
team gets an evaluation. And so there are tasks that, maybe Daniel and YP don't like to do, but somebody's got to do them for our team to be successful. And so it's
mm,
empowering the team, giving the ownership of this is what your team does and this is what needs to happen for them to be successful. So now when those widgets stop coming, I can't wait because I've got widgets to deliver to the next team down so
mhm,
our team gets a good grade, right? So I'll be going and saying, hey, YP, I'm going to go find out why the widgets are not coming down, right? And so
mhm.
you get ahead of the problem. It makes your employees proactive in
Okay.
solving their problems. And so that's one of the things. And if you're not doing those things, if you're not, I mean, I don't know how it is globally, but in the United States, we have what's called the Great Resignation going on right now, where
Okay.
people have been working from home for years, and then their employers want them to come in the office and sit in a bunch of meetings all day, and they're like, you know what? I like working from home. I don't want to do that anymore. They're quitting. And so if you're not looking after your workforce is going to be looking for better opportunities. So you're going to lose top talent. You're going to get eaten up by your competition. That's one of the things that if you're running customer driven leadership, you're listening to your customers more carefully than your competition. And so it really elevates you above your competition. You start to innovate because as those employees solve their own problem and optimize. Because think about it, YP. If I could go, hey, you know what? I can inspect these widgets a lot faster. Go ahead and turn up the speed of the conveyor belt a little bit. Now I can, get twice as many widgets inspected in a day instead of taking my time and looking at maybe once I get enough widgets, the day's over. Maybe I'm working 6 hours instead of 8 hours. I don't know, whatever it is, right? They just want the job done. And so it really starts to see how you can innovate. When things start going wrong, you go down that value chain and you're like, oh, this team failed the customer. Well, this team was failed by this team. Well, this team was failed by this team. And then this team was successful. So here's the problem where everything started to unravel. And then the whole company can come together and solve that problem so that it doesn't happen again. So it really has so many. It's like I said, it's kind of self-repairing, self-correcting.
So it sometimes they say that in a traditional company there's a silo effect. Everybody just works on their own priorities without thinking what's going to happen to the rest of the company. So this method eliminates the silo mindset. And the other thing that I like is that the word I'm going to use is it gives holistic ownership. Right? I mean, they own the sum of the parts rather than just owning the parts, right? And this is so vital nowadays in companies, especially. I think that to me, I deal with a lot of business owners. I feel that post-pandemic is actually tougher than pre-pandemic in the sense that competition has just got so much tighter.
Yeah. Completely agree, YP. I love you said it all just in the perfect way. I mean, really, what's your motto? It's
work less, earn more.
Work less, earn more. That's what CDL is all about, right? Because now the leadership isn't working, around the clock trying to solve the problems. The teams are solving the problems. The leaders have more time to focus on growth and evolving, and it really and even the employees earn more because as they hit those high, as they elevate basically that return in investment for the organization, then all of a sudden the organization is going, hey, thanks for your extra work. Here's something for you as well. And so it really is win-win. I mean, if an employee can double their value to the company, why would you not want to reward that employee financially, right?
Okay. So you got me excited. Okay. And you mentioned that you got a certification program. So how do people get their hands on being certified or being able to use this program in their organizations?
Sure. So I guess that's kind of two different questions, right? So the pathway for us right now is self-implementation, which you can use the guidebook. It'll tell you step by step, okay, do this and then do this, and but it's really on you. So that's a workbook. It will basically allow you to implement CDL within your organization. The next level is kind of that coach supported model where you're doing the implementation. We have videos that will tell you how to do it. And then we'll have kind of an opportunity to ask questions, either submit by email or get on calls and ask our master implementers, hey, I'm stuck in this particular area. How can I get past this? What do I need to do? And then the last step is to have certified CDL implementers. And the details of that are still in flux. We want to work with a highly credible coaching team. And so we are looking right now at partnering with one of the best in the world. But I don't want to get ahead of that. So basically, if you're interested in becoming a CDL implementer, if you've got implementation experience, some of the skills that I think are key are, let me see 1 second. I created a list. So this is kind of what we're looking for in CDL implementers. They have to have a lot of skill sets. So kind of executive coaching and training background, working with executives, because you've got to help walk them through the process. Project management skills, be task oriented enough that you can follow the checklist and get people, make sure nothing's falling through the cracks, basically. A good servant leader, you're there to serve them and help them be successful. Problem solving and root cause analysis, like this part's not working, why is it not working? And being able to ask the people what should be happening here so that they can clear that problem out of the way. Measuring what matters, so they need to have a little bit of understanding of good metrics. What is ROI and how does that all work? And then I think other things that are very useful is your life experience, right? Have what industries have you worked in? Because think about it, I worked for a global bank, so I know a lot about banking. So if I'm doing an implementation for a bank, I'm going to have extra expertise. I'm going to understand their systems and teams better than if I took somebody from the oil and gas industry and threw them into a bank, because they're like, I don't know how any of this stuff works. So I think that type of experience is also extremely helpful.
Wow.
And then if you just reach out to me and tell me you're interested, I will make sure that you are updated as that piece of the program develops.
Okay, and I put your Facebook, page up there. So, ladies and gentlemen, who's listening in, if you're interested to find out more about the customer-driven leadership program, either to find out more or to be part of the rollout, please get in touch with Daniel. And this is the best way currently for you to reach out to him. Yep. Okay, just go in there and send him a message, right?
Fantastic.
So as we come up to the 30-minute mark, Daniel. So if somebody wants to start implementing the customer-driven leadership principles, what should they do? What tips do you have for them apart from getting the book? Okay.
They should buy the expensive program, YP. That's the best way. No. I think the key. So really, Ted and I are building customer-driven leadership for several reasons, right? One, we want to help people be successful in all things, and two, it helps us fund our nonprofit work. And so those are the two motivations that we have. If you're interested, the book is going to come out in July, and we're excited to get working with you. So if hey, I want to get on a mailing list, again, that Facebook link right now is the best part. We're building out our infrastructure right now, so that's the best way to get hold of me. But tell me what your interest is, and I will get you the support that you need. And again, I think I see this as really not only helping for-profit businesses, but also nonprofit organizations, right? Because again, it doesn't matter who you serve, it's staying focused and pulling everybody together to serve that purpose. The value chain is the same. There are teams serving teams within your organization to be successful to those people that you're trying to help in the nonprofit space as well. And so, that's my recommendation. I've got if there's a specific one-off question or need, just reach out to me. Join the Facebook page, follow us, send me messages there. I'll be happy to give you whatever information you need and to help you.
One question, Daniel, is the book coming up only in hard copy, or is there going to be a digital version?
There will be a digital version as well.
Okay, yep. Right. Okay. Nowadays, a lot of people are having the digital version of books rather than hard copies, right?
And if you like the sound of my voice, there may be an audio version too. I'm in negotiation.
Okay, right. Okay, so there's an audible version in the works, right?
Working on it. I'm working on it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Working on the voice or working on the audible version? Just kidding.
Thank you.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you got any questions, go to this Facebook page and post it, and Daniel will definitely, reach out to you and answer your questions. So, this is going to be a global release, isn't it, of this program?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to be the one of those early adopters, because I run organizations and BNI, which I belong to. We've got more than 3,000, chapters or groups, and in terms of leaders, easily we've got more than 10,000 leaders, in there. So this is something that I want to get my own teams, which is based in the Philippines and in Thailand and Australia, interested in this program. Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Right. So thank you so much, Daniel, and everybody who's listening in. Thank you so much for joining us. And as a way of saying thank you, if you've not already got this book, please, go to this website and go and download your free book on the 10 proven strategies to work less and more, right? Because I'm YP Lai, your work less and more expert. Right. And coming up next week, this Ask YP Now live show happens every Thursday evening. So it's going to be 7 p.m. Singapore time, and we are from a different time zone, okay? It's going to happen at whatever time you attended this at, okay? So it's going to be on every Thursday. Yeah. So it's still Thursday for you, isn't it, Daniel? Yeah. So even from the US, you're going to be, okay. So it's either Thursday morning, afternoon, or evening, okay? And next week, we're going to have another new guest coming in, and this lady is amazing, okay? Now, the topic will be how outsourcing can double your business. So one of the biggest challenges for many businesses is especially small to medium businesses, is that the owner tries to do everything himself or herself. And there's only a limited 24 hours in a day. Though some business owners think they got 36, but reality is only 24, right? And there's only so much we can do. So Kathy, a very good friend of mine, and I know Daniel knows her too. She's an amazing lady, multi-skilled, and she runs a business outsourcing service. Okay, sometimes we call it like a VA service, and she has helped so many people, scale up their business by telling them what to focus on and what are the things that you should do yourself as a business owner and what are the things that you can outsource, right? So come and join us next Thursday for another amazing Ask YP Now live show. Okay, so with this, Daniel, let's wish everybody bye-bye and have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and the rest of your day. Bye-bye.